evening. The Supreme Court earlier today lifted the ban on the entry of women of the menstruating age in the Sabrimala temple. It is being hailed as a big win for right to pray and gender equality, and I think it is. I understand it triggered even a debate about Supreme Court stepping into the territory of religion, and we've had those debates earlier in the past as well, and I think those kind of debates will continue. But for me, Constitution is supreme, and that's what matters. But that's not what we're going to talk about tonight, not the merits of this verdict. There were a few interesting things that the learned justices actually said as part of this verdict, which is what I want to take forward. Here is the Supreme Court's big message. Subversion of women's rights under the garb of physiological phenomena cannot be allowed. Just because I am menstruating, just because I have my periods, doesn't give you the right to ostracize me, to exclude me from anything. Exclusion because of menstruation is utterly unconstitutional, said the Supreme Court today. Exclusion is violative of right to dignity and equality. Now, why do I say that this is a big message from the Supreme Court? Because while the Sabrimala temple will now have to lift the ban on entry of women, the message is actually to the entire country. Stop the discrimination, exclusion of women during their periods. In many parts of our country, viewers, and some of you may be surprised to find this out, but in many parts of our country, these age-old practices still continue, unabashedly, like it is the norm. I'll give you some examples. It is still considered that a menstruating woman is dirty and impure, which is why she is not allowed to participate in any religious ceremony, which is why she is not allowed to enter any religious place, any place of worship. Menstruating girls are considered untouchable. They're not supposed to enter kitchen. They're not supposed to touch the utensils which has food for other people. They must not make jam or jellies, or actually they must not cook at all. Many families in our country still believe and follow this. They must not set curd. They must not touch a pickle jar. They should only wash their hair on the 4th day. They're not even allowed to spend time with their own family members. So tonight, I want to start a conversation to end all of this, to shun the taboo and embrace what is a very natural process for half this world. And with the right care, it is also hygienic. What is definitely not impure, evil, or banish-worthy. Many campaigns have been started across the world, including in our country, to shun this taboo, to end the ostracization. Yet, I saw the outrage, reaction that came to the Supreme Court's verdict today about Sabrimala. And I realize that we have a long way to go to bring about a change. So tonight, let's start a conversation. And let's say good evening to our guests. Sandeep Munjal, spokesperson for Sanatan Sanstha, Prachi Adhikari, she's an actor joining us this evening, Surjit Yadav of the Hindu Sena, Rachita Taneja, creator of webcomic Sanitary Panels, Vandana Kohli, author, and Nishan Tanwar, he's a stand-up comic joining us from Ahmedabad this evening. Let me start with Sandeep Munjal. Sandeep, good evening. Can you hear me? Ms. Munjal, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
आवाज नहीं है, एंकर की आवाज क्लियर नहीं है.
Okay, I'm just going to fix that audio and then we will go back to her. But let me go across to Vandana Kohli. Vandana Kohli, do you agree with what I just said, that there is a larger message for the society and the real change will only come when we manage to change the mindset?
Yes, Tanvi, I agree with you. This is a very deep-rooted practice, and it's as Justice Chandrachud said in his judgment, that this is really a mindset. It's a mentality that has to change. I would like to add to everything that you said. It wasn't a few months ago, a friend and I were in a slightly smaller town, and we went to a chemist. It was about 9:30 at night. It was one of the smaller chemists that were open. And we went to look for, we needed sanitary napkins. And when we asked him for sanitary napkins, the boy behind the counter took them from the shelf and threw them on the floor. So my point really is that this is such a deep-seated phenomenon when it comes to
he threw it on the floor,
a woman being impure when her menstruation is on.
He threw it on the floor because he didn't want any contact with you.
You could see the disdain. Of course, he didn't want to have anything to do with the fact that two women, and we are we're not kids, had come to ask for sanitary napkins. He threw it on the floor. The boy behind the counter had little more sense. The second one who was attending to us, he went and picked it up, and he couldn't wait to wrap them quickly in newspaper and be done with us. So that the attitude is so deep rooted that, well, this is a beginning, and we can only applaud it.
Mr. Surjit Yadav, good evening to you. This still exists in our country where people don't even want to touch a woman who's menstruating. They're literally being treated as untouchable. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to acknowledge it. Anybody who's having their period must stay away from the rest of the family, not enter the kitchen, not be part of any religious ceremony, are not allowed to pray in the way they should. Ye kab badlega?
मैडम देखिए, बहुत समय से हमारे समाज में, एक धर्म में नहीं, हिंदू धर्म में, जैन धर्म में, इस्लाम में, बहुत से धर्मों में इस चीज़ को सैकड़ों वर्षों से, हज़ारों वर्षों से इसको इम्प्योरिटी माना गया है। और यह भी सच्चाई है कि जब ये पीरियड्स होते हैं तो महिला तकलीफ़ में होती है, पेट दर्द होता है, बॉडी पेन होता है और अन्य बहुत तरीके के उसको दुख होते हैं। और ये इम्प्योरिटी जब एक महिला के शरीर से निकलती है तो वो प्योर नहीं होती। उसमें देखिए, आप समझ सकते हैं इस चीज़ को कि कीटाणु होते हैं, हर तरीके की इम्प्योरिटी तो होती ही है, प्योरिटी नहीं होती, इम्प्योरिटी होती है। और इम्प्योरिटी के लिए कोई अगर हमारे सैकड़ों वर्षों से इस चीज़ को बुरा माना गया है कि वो महिला, उस पर प्रेशर नहीं है, वो एक पीछे से सब महिलाओं के ऊपर एक सीख है उनकी तरफ से कि ये पुराने तरीके से हमको किचन में नहीं जाना है, हमको मंदिर नहीं जाना है, हमको पूजा पाठ नहीं करनी है, अथवा ऐसे कोई भी काम करने हैं। तो इसके लिए, और भी जो महिला कह रही हैं कि हमने सैनिटरी नैपकिन लिया किसी दुकान से और उसने फेंक दिया, यदि उस दुकान वाले को इतनी ही दिक्कत होती तो वो सैनिटरी नैपकिन वगैरह या कुछ भी जो होता है वो नहीं रखता।
लेकिन यह कहना फेंका इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि वो सैनिटरी नैपकिन को नहीं छूना चाहता है या उसको बेचना नहीं चाहता है, उसने फेंका इसलिए क्योंकि शायद वो इनको नहीं छूना चाहता था, इनके पास भी नहीं आना चाहता था, क्योंकि वो इम्प्योरिटी की बात हो रही है जो आप ये कह रहे हैं ना, इम्प्योरिटी।
ये आप कैसे कह रहे हैं?
ये मुझे सुरजीत जी, क्योंकि आप ये समझते हैं कि इम्प्योरिटी निकल रही है,
तो मैं यहाँ कुछ कहना चाहूंगी। तन्वी, मैं यहाँ कुछ कहना चाहूंगी।
यस वंदना,
मैं कुछ कहूँ?
जी बोलिए।
अब मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि आपकी बात की बहुत सैकड़ों सालों से ये माना जा रहा है, इसका आप एक अर्थ और निकाल सकते हैं जो मेरे ख्याल से वही अर्थ सही था शुरू में, कि जब महिला को अपने